if you have PCOS, or if you know someone having PCOS, you will realize that the biggest challenge in controlling PCOS is maintaining the lifestyle which is needed for a good control on the PCOS. So let's today talk about a diet plan for PCOS with an Indian palate. A very rigid, restrictive plan will work very well in a short term, but for a long, sustained control, here is the list of do's and don'ts. Just getting an instruction of control your diet, do exercises, lose weight, this doesn't work as an initial step. What works as an initial step, or the first step, is to understand PCOS in details and why it is important for you to control PCOS, why it is important for you to do the modifications that is required for a control of PCOS. 2. Complete avoidance, especially if you're in your late teens or early 20s, do not work. The rule of limitation and the rule of moderation works better. 3. Complete omission of one food group in your diet never works. A balanced diet always works. 4. A ready-made diet plan handed over to you by a nutritionist without your active participation never works. A guideline always works. I often encourage my girls and my women to take an active participation in making a diet plan for themselves, after, of course, a fully informed discussion with their nutritionist or sometimes with me. 5. Fasting or feasting, both are harmful for PCOS. Number 6. A diet plan for PCOS does not need fancy superfoods. What works best is what is available easily, what is available readily in the geography that you live in. Number 7. A prolonged exercise program doesn't go too well with the PCOS. Intense exercises for about 20 to 30 minutes and moderate to brisk exercise for about 45 minutes to an hour is all that you need. And 5 days a week is good enough. Number 8. Last but not the least, control of lifestyle to control PCOS never works on an individual basis. The family together has to make modifications for controlling the lifestyle so that it works for the woman. Now, if you're living alone, it is easier for you to have a complete control on yourself, but if you're living with your friends and family, it needs to be a combined effort. Now, coming to the diet plan tips. 1. The total calorie intake should be about 1200 to 1500 calories depending on the age, depending on your weight, and also the level of activity that you practice. All food groups should be included in your daily diet. Yes, carbs, proteins, fats, all needs to be included. You can modify them to low carbs or slow carbs, to lean proteins and healthy fats. Now imagine a plate in front of you. Divide it into 4 equal parts. So each part is about 25%. If you're having a lunch or a dinner, it has to be a full plate. If you're having a breakfast or a snack, it has to be a small quarter plate. Now, slow carbs or low carbs should consist of about 50% of your plate. All non-white carbs are slow carbs. Yes, oils and vegetables also have carbs. Here's a list of all the slow carbs. Lean proteins ideally should not be more than 10 to 15% of your plate. Here's a list of some lean proteins. Healthy fats should be about 30% of your plate, and this includes the 2 to 3% of 2 to 3 tablespoons of the oil that you're permitted to take daily. Here's a list of healthy fats. Now the rest of the plate should have more fibers, and of course water is a very important part of your PCO meals. Limit sugars, confectioneries and processed foods to say about once in 2 to 3 weeks to begin with. Also add anti-inflammatory things in your diet, which is anyways the Indian diet is very rich in anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, garlic, onion, ginger, jawar, bajra, etc. And usually the rule is that the lunch and the dinner should have all the food groups together, whereas the breakfast and the snacks should have about maximum of 2 food groups together. Now, diet alone will never work. You all know that. It has to be combined with an exercise and a sleep discipline. What works best for you might not work best for others. So using these guidelines, make your lifestyle modifications. Allow yourself to indulge at times. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Take charge. Involve yourself, and do not depend on others to set your routine. Do it yourself.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos by us.